What's up guys, KPlays here. We just got a nice little bundle of content and rebalancing added to the game. The patch notes that dropped earlier today gave us a sneak peek into what's in store, and now that the update is live for more direct testing, we can actually see what's up. What I want to do is go through every point one by one in the patch notes so we can understand everything that's being added for the game, and you guys know I'm lying if you ever watched a video on this channel besides this one. We are skipping right to the main things that will be affecting us hunting horn mains, and hopefully show off any direct changes I can find more practically. Without further ado, let's dive into what you guys are here for. Patch 1.011 for the hunting horn mains. First things first, there's something I noticed outside of the hunting horn specific changes that is going to affect any of us that's been abusing a very specific strategy: paralocking. Monsters resistant to paralysis now gain more resistance each time the ailment is triggered on them. One of the strongest songs in the game, aka Paralysis, aka Stop Freaking Moving L, may be taking a bit of hit in the future because of this. It's no secret that Arty and Paralysis weapons have been capable of totally cheesing fights, especially in multiplayer where you could have multiple hunters pumping monsters full of status at once. Being able to get usable status out of weapons with very good damaging stats may have led us to that abuse, but I doubt that the stun to para to trip to para to stun to trap, etc. was supposed to be quite as easy or powerful as it actually is. So this change kind of makes sense. It's just a little sad that hunting horn has become such a master of status application, because it means that we kind of catch strays on this when balancing adjustments like this come around to fix a more general issue. Fortunately though, it seems that only para is being looked at, and only for resistant monsters, which it shouldn't really have been able to absolutely abuse like that in the first place. My handy dandy sleep hunting horns will be just as strong as ever, and I'm assuming that para will be pretty much okay too, if they only do things the way it's worded. Honestly though, status waves are so busted that I think we may still be overpowering those higher thresholds, but we shall see. Moving on to the main meat and potatoes of this video, they have listened. It isn't going to be one of those patches that buffs all weapons and leaves them in mostly the same spot related to each other. No, in this one the weapon roster is getting more targeted spot fixes, and hunting horn is going to be one of those lucky receivers of that sweet dev attention. To start things off with some hard numbers, we're going to be getting damage buffs, and very beefy ones at that. Now as a disclaimer, these numbers are going to come from a quick initial testing, and if I need to make any corrections, I'll pin them in the comments or make a follow-up to this video. Assuming that won't be necessary though, I am really liking what I'm seeing here. The Echo Bubble placement and the perfect timed Encore are getting a whopping 50% damage increase. Great start, right? Performances are getting a smaller increase of roughly 20%, while the non-perfect timing Encore jumps up by a crazy 70%. Not that you'll ever want to be doing this very often because it's still stronger with the proper input, but it's worth pointing out. Lastly, the Focus Strike's initial jab deals double the damage compared to before, while the finisher seems to have been buffed by 40%. In short, we'll still have to see the results of these changes in the long run, but at first glance, hunting horn got kinda jacked in this patch. Big buffs on the majority of its most important moves that you'll ideally be throwing out as much as possible means more damage overall. And again, with not every weapon getting actual damage buffs in this patch, it might make for some actual differences compared to the rest of the roster. I mean, Hammer and Gunlance seem to be coming up too, but we'll have to see. Am I reaching a bit on this one? Could hunting horn actually be coming up? Maybe not, but we can live the dream on the off chance that it actually comes true. Hunting horn players deserve a win after all. Now, aside from the possible overall power increase, some of the specifics of these changes could have some odd implications for hunting horn in the long run. Performances in Encore is getting a significant boost, with the Encore specifically getting the most love. Pretty much hammers home something I mentioned in my hunting horn issues video. You're kinda discouraged from using performance beats, like ever, which is an odd thing to do with a brand new move, much less with one with a timing mechanic specifically meant to let you do more damage when playing songs. I mean, even ignoring the fact that spamming single song recital Encore combos has turned out to be roughly equal to or slightly better than doing the full new performance beat recital mode combo. Did you guys notice that it's the only recital mode based move that's staying untouched? That means that A, it's staying as is while everything around it gets stronger, and B, with Encores being the big damage payoff in our combos now, you'll probably want to avoid playing multiple songs in a row in combat. Playing one at a time means more Encores, while doing multiple nets you more of a seemingly weaker move in comparison. You can still get through a song queue faster with performance beats, slightly so, which might slightly benefit status waves somewhat, but still. It's a weird situation to be in. As far as we should be concerned if we care at all about effective play, performance beat essentially doesn't exist in the current state of the moveset. That aside though, the next thing to look at is the cancel timing change for Encore and offset melodies. Making these earlier for Encores definitely fits what I'm seeing as the playstyle they may be trying to benefit. That of course being a more single song spam method rather than combo chains. If you're going to be spamming Encores, you're going to want to be able to roll out of the end leg ASAP to stay mobile or start another recital sooner. In practice, this will help us stay safer and more aggressive, because single song spamming is very non-stop when it comes to the offense. This will be a pleasant tweak for something we already were doing anyway. Offset melody getting an earlier cancel on the other hand is something I'm really interested in seeing. I haven't been using the special performance nearly as much compared to resounding because, well, resounding is awesome, but also because it hurts how way down you feel after an offset on horn. Even when you successfully get the offset, if a monster gets shoved back, that end leg makes it a bit hard to chase them down and press the advantage. The game also suggests that you can use the offset melody as a regular attack, which would be nice since it's a pretty high motion value hit with iframes on the windup and counterframes on the attack itself. But when it leaves you so wide open afterwards, it's safer more often than not to just ignore it altogether, or just use it for that one key moment where you intentionally want the offset knockback. I would have loved for us to get a proper follow-up like every other weapon with an offset attack, but if this helps us mix this move in easier, I'm here for it. I'll be messing with this in some hunts on my own time to see if there's actually a noticeable difference here. Lastly, for the hunting horn specific changes, it seems like they're dialing back the visuals on the echo bubbles. This one, I could take it or leave it. I'm sure opinions may differ on this, but I never actually found the effects all that bad. After all, bubble range is where you want to be as a hunting horn user or a hunting horn user's teammate, so being able to see them easier in the chaos of a hunt is a plus. Some players seem to have trouble standing near my bubbles as is. What I do hope can get fixed as a result of this though is the bubble limit in multiplayer. I haven't been able to get out and try this yet. I've mentioned it before, but there's a limit of 5 bubbles total in multiplayer, most likely to avoid that visual clutter. So if this issue is getting fixed for the visual clutter, it should mean that the unfortunate limit on an extremely important part of Hunting Horn's kit won't need to be a thing anymore. Right, Capcom? Right? Please say right. Finally though, one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to trying out tomorrow due to the implications it could have for horn players technically doesn't even have anything to do with the horn. Technically. With the Akuma set Capcom is adding with the Street Fighter collab, we've essentially been giving an unofficial 15 weapon. These hands. Except really it's more like weapon 14.5, because in the notes we've seen that your martial arts moveset gets its power from your equipped weapon, and you're also still able to use said weapon from time to time. That raises a very important question. How exactly does the Akuma moveset scale? Because let's say that fighting gestures have their own set motion values, and the only thing that your weapon contributes is the damaging stats. You know, attack, affinity, element, all that good stuff. Well, if this is the case, we hunting horn users may only stand to gain, because our hands will be song buffed. Imagine the horn being the key to the best Akuma performance, thanks to attack up, affinity up, earplugs, the attack affinity conga bubble, and the like. I may be reaching here, but imagine if you could still activate echo bubbles too for extra bursts of damage, or mix up your regular and special movesets to echo wave para monster into place before laying into it barehanded. A guy can dream. A guy can dream. Definitely something to go figure out in the next couple days. Let me know what you guys are most excited to see with this patch though. Till next time, this has been another KPlays, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.